Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkmech here, and I'm back today with an overview of my thoughts of the Tomb of Sargeras, the new raid, and it's fucking awesome. It is really fucking cool. The design of the actual raid is really cool. The bosses look fucking awesome. They feel like bosses too, and they look like bosses. So chuffed for this raid, and I was so happy to get through it in the first day sort of thing. So I did a normal, and then I did the first 3 bosses on heroic, and I'm just kind of gonna, I've strung them all together, and I'm just gonna go and talk about it as we go sort of thing. So if I ramble, I apologize. This is the first boss. This is on heroic. This is Goroth, and I was playing Blood here. Not a hell of a lot of differences between normal and heroic. On heroic, there's green stuff on the floor and he hits a lot harder and you have to run further away with the melted armors. But that was really about it. He is awesome. You walk in the door, there's like 3 trash packs and you're straight onto boss. So it gave me that sort of BWL Razorgore the Untamed sort of vibe to it. And the first 3 bosses in the instance on normal and heroic wise aren't really difficult as you would expect. So he was a really cool sort of opening boss and kind of a gimme as you would expect. The second boss you come up to is the Demonic Inquisition, which is 2 bosses, and this is a unique fight. So there's 2 bosses in this room, Balak and Artigan. You can't tank Balak, but you have to be interrupting over and over this Pangs of Guilt, and Artigan just needs to be faced away and he'll do a bone saw sort of thing where he spins around in a circle. The unique thing about this fight that was interesting is up the top of my screen there's this bar that's filling up with red, and it's called Torment. When you hit 100% Torment, you do like 90% less damage, healing, and yada yada. So what you have to do is click your extra action button. It takes you into this cage where there's a mob, and you beat the mob and orbs fall out of it. And then you pick 3 up, it drops all your Torment, you click your extra action button and you go back outside. And that's pretty much the entirety of the fight. Again, from normal to heroic, there wasn't a lot of differences, as you wouldn't really expect in the first couple of bosses. But this was cool. It was a unique sort of fight, and it brings a good tank communication, I suppose, into it, where one tank's in the cage and can't see what's going on outside, and the other tank's outside with the with the bosses, sorry, and you have to switch that way. So that was pretty cool. The third boss is Artigan. This gave me a real Serpentine Cavern vibe. So his model, I think, is absolutely amazing. I think he looks fantastic. There's Murloc adds in this fight that'll fixate. Unlike Botanist, you don't have to run the fuck away. That may be different. Actually, it wasn't even really different in Heroic. In Heroic, you were just able to stand there with the focuses and just AoE the adds down. There's water and shit in this that you don't want to stand in, and that's pretty much it. You won't have a hell of a lot of issues with this boss. The fourth one that we came up to was Mistress Sassy Pants. Now, I had to play Unholy for a lot of these. I tried to get in on day 1 as a tank in a lot of groups, but a lot of the groups already had tanks and things like that, so I kind of waited and found a guild group that just needed a DPS, and that made my normal life obviously very easy in getting through this. So Mistress Sassy Pants is an interesting fight. It's probably one of the ones that I didn't really enjoy in here. There's tornadoes, there's muck on the ground, there's a large shark that dives through the middle that you would have just seen, but it comes up out of ankle deep water and then dives back down into ankle deep water. So that was, I kind of thought that was weird. And there's a big whale that sticks its head out of the side of the wall and tries to suck you in, and that was interesting. And you have to pick up these purple pools and go dump it in sort of the area of it, and it sucks it in, and then the whale goes away. So it was a cool fight, but it didn't really do much for me. Next up, further into the instance, was the Sisters of the Moon. This was a cool fight. So the floor is a moon, let's say, with a light and a dark side that consistently changes going back and forth. When you're on the light side, you have Lunar Suffusion. When you're on the dark side, you have Umbra Suffusion, which is the debuff. And as your stacks get high, you want to go and switch them. So I have no idea what stacks to switch them at is appropriate. Like on normal, obviously, there's not a lot of damage. On heroic, it'll probably be different. You'll very much have to do the right thing. But I was sort of going over at like 5 to 6 stacks. I'd go and switch it. And if it gets like this, I'd run over to the light side, quickly change my debuff before I went into the dark side again, because you'll be in the dark side for a longer period. But there was glaives to dodge. There's 3 mini bosses in that as such. The Sisters of the Moon all changed. There's 3 of them. But it was a cool fight. The Desolate Host. This obviously looks like the one out of BT. I can't even remember what it's called. The Angry soul thing. I don't know. This fight, when you read a guide for it, is really fucking confusing. But it's actually really quite simple when you do it from a normal perspective anyway. I don't know what it'll be like on Heroic. But there's a normal realm and a spirit realm. And basically your raids, you split it into two. They click on these fonts on the outside to go into the spirit realm before the encounter starts. They manage the spirit realm and you manage the normal realm. At 30%, the boss comes out. And you each have different things to do. So this Sundering Doom on the normal realm, we all stand inside the Sundering Doom, and then once that goes off, the Spirit Realm tank, we can't see here, will taunt the boss. This Doom Sundering, we all run out on the top, and the Spirit Realm all run in as we did before. So it's actually kind of simple, but reading it on a guide, I was kind of like, you fucking do what? But doing it, much easier. Maiden of Vigilance. So Maiden of Vigilance was really interesting. This is going to be the 100% retard check in your raid. It's also going to be a nightmare in pugs for a while, I think, without Discord. Excuse me. So there's an infusion at the start, and this is Thaddeus all over again with Polarity Shift. So you get Fel infused or you get Holy infused. If you're Fel infused, you have to stand with all the Fel people. If you're Holy, you have to stand with all the Holy people, and the tanks get one each. And you stack on the tanks because she does this Hammer of Creation and Hammer of Obliteration, and you want to split the damage from that by all standing on your tank. It also serves as the taunt swap mechanic and the Hammer of the fucking Holy One's always first. I can't remember what it's called. She'll switch sides and then you have to run around and she has a shield. Now if you have Fel, you can only collect Fel Orbs. Collecting Fel Orbs gives you a DPS boost because you have to run over here and you have to burst down this giant shield. When you burst down the shield, you have to interrupt it, otherwise you all die. If you collect the wrong orbs, you deal massive damage to your group. And all kinds of shit goes wrong there. There's also be these bombs that go off on people. At 3 seconds, you have to jump into the giant hole in the middle. When your bomb goes off, it blows you back up onto the platform. So it's a relatively simple fight when you scale it out. You get an infusion, stand with your infused people at the bomb, jump into the middle with 3 seconds, but getting people to execute that is a little bit different. Second last boss was the Fallen Avatar of Sargeras, and this was a fucking cool fight. This was awesome. He looks, again, awesome. Like, this is a fucking boss. It's rad. There's a maiden up at the start of this, and basically what happens is you can see there's a big green beam going into the maiden at the moment. The idea is that the Avatar of Sargeras wants to get to 100 energy. When it gets to 100 energy, the phase changes. Your job in this is to get the maiden into the Fel energy to stop the Avatar from getting energy. When the maiden hits 100 energy, it gets a shield. You all switch to the maiden, you DPS down the shield, and then you switch back to the boss. When you remove the shield from the maiden, it takes a percentage of her health off. The idea is that you want to push the Avatar as low as possible before it reaches 100 energy, before phase transitioning. So you're going into like the next phase with him really low, because I'll show you what happens when you go down low. Not like that. So the maiden's about to hit 100 energy here. You can see now it's got a shield. It's a 90 million shield, so everybody switches to it. You DPS it down. The only thing that you need to make sure of is that when the Fallen Avatar is going to hit 100 energy, that the maiden is actually dead. If not, he will eat her. He'll go back to 100% HP. That'll phase change, and then you'll be absolutely fucked. There's also purple daggers that come out, but it's a huge room. It's got a huge hitbox. You just want to make sure you stay spread. Tanks always need to make sure there's one tank within 10 yards of it, otherwise it will melee your melee to death. You can see we're nearly at the end sort of here. He's still at 64% here, but there's another example of what the shield looks like, DPSing it down and then switching back. He does this Rupture Realities as well, where you have to run away. The further away you are from it, the less damage you take. So he's just hit 100 energy now. He does this Annihilation thing. He breaks the entire platform, and you descend further into the Tomb of Sargeras onto this platform down below in the middle of lava. And again, it's just a race against time. So your tanks will be dragging it to the corner. There'll be these big purple circles that go around you, think like empowered bonds. You all have to run and stand in them. It'll punt you up in the air. People need to go and stand in them. It will one-shot somebody otherwise. Demon Hunters, when you get punted up, you can obviously just glide and Fel Rush down and things like that. Warriors can Heroic Leap. Otherwise, you will take some slight fall damage. But that is it, guys. Again, he was a really fucking cool boss. And then you get this cinematic, this badass cinematic where you go onto the ship where Kil'jaeden is on his spaceship, and you're ready to go to war. Then there's all this trash you've got to clear. And then there's Kil'jaeden himself. Now, I ended up tanking this one in a pug because the guild group that I ran 9 with called it as soon as they got to Kil'jaeden, and I was like, fuck that, I have to kill Kil'jaeden. So I ended up making, I got into a pug that had a couple of wipes. Then they said who wanted lead. Everyone left, and I was like, fuck it, I am going to kill this guy if it's the last thing I do today. So made a group, and this was an awesome fight. Like, I know it's only normal, and really I don't usually bother getting too chuffed about normal bosses because it's just normal, and I know everyone will say that, but this felt really fucking cool to kill. This was different from killing like Gul'dan on normal and things like that. Like, this felt really fucking cool. And it's an interesting fight. It's a cool fight. So the Taunt Swap, and I'll do tank guides for all this kind of stuff, but the Taunt Swap is like 3 to 5 stacks. You want to keep him in the middle as there's this purple orb that'll punt people back. You have to soak. There's lots of little red swirls that go on the ground you need to soak. There's this focused dreadfire. Everyone's in a line in the middle. You go to the back with the arrow and it goes through. Think of Galakras, like the orb on Galakras in Siege of Orgrimmar. This arm, again, there's the little red swirls. You have to soak them. The big ones need to be soaked by tanks without stacks of Falclaws, or you can go in and use an immunity. In this group, we were using immunity, so we were using paladins with bubble, hunters with turtles, and mages with ice blocks, or the tanks were taking them if they didn't have stacks of Falclaws. And it is physical damage as well, because I stood in 1 AMS to and got 1 shot. Good times. There's this bursting dreadfire as well that you need to run away from. He'll summon adds. When the ads are up, you just stack them in and just cleave them down. I watched Nerf's Heroic video. In Heroic, there appears to be an orb which will fixate on people that you have to kite out, and then it leaves a bunch of fire on the ground. I didn't see a hell of a lot of other mechanics in it, but in saying that, I stopped it before it got to phase 3, and I wasn't paying that much attention. So here, he hits really fucking hard too, I suppose, as a tank note, as you would expect. In sort of current gear level going into this, like I'm 909, I think. And he still hits pretty fucking hard, especially when you get to sort of 5 stacks of Falclaws. In all the guides, it does say 5 stacks as a swap, but I think you could swap at 3. I've also seen groups 3 tanking this and swapping at 2 stacks, but I certainly did not want to do that. Like, I don't play well with others as it is. I don't like fucking sharing. So there was no way I was going to split fucking glory with 3 tanks. So the first 2 phases are identical sort of thing. There's phase 1 and intermission, phase 2 and intermission. We were popping hero in phase 2. Then you hit this phase 3 mark at 40% where he makes the entire platform dark, and you have to run and find Illidan. And when you go into Illidan, you have to go and kill these ads. And the only way you can kill these ads is with Illidan's Sightless Gaze. So it lasts for however long it does. You have to run, keep running back to Illidan. These ads, people say you can grip them. You can't fucking grip them, but you can stun them. So you have to keep running back to Illidan, which I'm doing now, get his Sightless Gaze buff, kill the ads, and then it's just a push to the end now. If you pretty much get to phase 3 with everybody up, you're kind of, in normal, you're kind of home. Again, I don't know what it's going to be like on Heroic. He does this Darkness of 1,000 Souls, and there's this rift he opens up. You have to go and dip your toe into the barrier, and it stops you from taking damage, or it does something with the 1,000 Darkness cast, but you just need to go stand in the rift, but not all the way in, because it'll suck you in and you'll die otherwise. But that's pretty much it, guys. This was, as I said, I was fucking chuffed about this, hence making this video. And I know it's only normal, but this raid, it's I think it's so nice to have something new from Nighthold. I personally got really sick of Nighthold really quickly, and this raid has just fucking delivered. I just think it's amazing. The cinematic as well at the end, like holy shit, was just awesome. A big thing as well that I found on Reddit for this as well, guys, if you're planning to bonus roll on Kil'jaeden, there's about 2 seconds after the cinematic, because the cinematic is so long, there's about 2 seconds after the cinematic if you are going to bonus roll this. So obviously everyone would have watched this cinematic on YouTube by now, or an MMO champ, or wherever you've watched it. So cancel it and use your bonus roll if that's what you are intending to do. You also kind of get ported out of the dungeon straight away as well, and the I don't know, whatever it is, his body that you loot is in front. But just, oh fuck. This raid, this cinematic, the story, just, it's blown me away. I think Blizzard deserved the biggest pat on the back for this raid. It has gone next level. I cannot imagine how hard Mythic is going to be in here, especially when you get to the bosses like Maiden of Vigilance, Fallen Avatar, and Kill Jaden on Mythic. I do not envy the people that are going to wipe on that for world progress, but it's going to be another level of raiding, I think. And the other thing I want to comment on, I don't know if you've seen it, but I highly suggest going and checking it out. I cannot remember the user's name. A comment on MMO Champ's YouTube page for this. So obviously, once you kill Jaden, Argus is in the sky for you. So wherever you go, once you've killed Jaden, Argus is in the sky. And there is the top rated comment on the YouTube page for MMO Champ. And it's, everyone, how are we going to get to Argus in 7.3? Illidan, hold my beer. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a giant nerd, but that fucking cracked me up. So that is it, guys. My thoughts for Tomb of Sargeras, absolutely fucking amazing. I love it. I really hope you guys are enjoying it too. Let me know how you're finding it. Would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for taking the time to check out the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Whoa, hold on. I forgot all about something. I was just watching this through before I rendered it, and I forgot all about something. On the screen now, you can see I have my Tomb of Sargeras tanking cheat sheet. I do this for every single raid that comes out. And I thought this time, because I made the tank guides for Nighthold last time, I thought I would actually make this available from the start, and I'll put it on all the tank guides when I eventually do them as well. This is what I use as a reference point for Tomb of Sargeras. It's just tank specific, it's all in one spot, and I'm going to update it as I go through. So most of the information on here is taken from Fat Boss Wowhead sort of thing, and then as I do the fights, I edit it to try and simplify it, make it really clear. And the idea for me providing it to you guys is, obviously, if you're a little bit nervous about going in there, you don't know what to do or something like that, it can hopefully serve as a quick reference point to you. I've color-coded the bosses in regards to sort of easy, medium brain CPU usage, and red for obviously requires your brain to be active in the fight. And yeah, as I said, I'll update it as I go through. If you notice anything in it as I'm doing it that is wrong, that needs to be changed or something like that, please hit me up in the comments. Obviously, the idea of this and me sharing it is to try and make it, really simple, really easy to follow and correct. So that is it, guys. Now I'm finished. So thank you very much for checking out the video. Thanks for your time. I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. See you guys.